So we're diving deep today in some pretty wild territory. Sleep paralysis, lucid dreaming, where's the line between what's real and what our minds are just making up? We've got this incredible story, a personal account. Really makes you think twice about consciousness, right? And how powerful our subconscious can be.
Yeah, it's amazing how these personal stories, especially the ones that are hard to explain, they can totally challenge how we understand reality. I mean, science tries, right? It gives us things like sleep paralysis to explain these events, but sometimes those explanations just don't cut it.
Yeah.
They don't capture how intense or how strange these things actually feel when people go through them.
Exactly. And get this, our author, his journey starts with lucid dreaming. At first, he's like ecstatic,
Mm-hmm.
you know, flying around, creating whole worlds in his mind. It's like he's found this hidden superpower.
Right.
But then it gets dark. The dreams get harder to control, almost like there's something pushing back, resisting him.
You see that a lot in these lucid dreaming stories. This pushback idea suggests maybe the subconscious isn't just an empty space waiting for us to fill it. Like, it's got its own plans, its own intelligence, maybe, and it pushes back when we try to control it. Some psychologists even think it's how our subconscious deals with stuff we haven't worked through, emotions, anxieties. It uses dreams as a safe space.
That's wild. Like, there's another being inside us fighting for control. And for this guy, this pushback, it turns into these terrifying nightmares. And the fear starts to spill over into his waking life, leading to some pretty intense sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah, sleep paralysis, that can be absolutely terrifying. Just imagine you wake up, your mind is completely there, but you can't move, can't speak. This force is holding you down. And throughout history, people have blamed everything from demons to, aliens. It's no wonder people start questioning everything they thought they knew.
Right. And at first, our author thinks it's something evil, too. He feels this dark presence, like it's pinning him down.
Mm-hmm.
He even starts wondering if there's, like, a dark side to the afterlife.
Sure, science has an explanation for sleep paralysis. During REM sleep, our muscles get paralyzed so we don't act out our dreams. Sleep paralysis happens when our minds wake up before our bodies do. So we're stuck, paralyzed, but still kind of dreaming. But even knowing that, the fear is real, that feeling of something else being there, it's hard to ignore.
So it's like our brain is awake, but our body's still asleep, caught in dreamland. And that disconnect is what creates this terrifying experience. It's fascinating, though. He mentions never seeing anything during these episodes, just the feeling, paralyzed, trapped. But then he takes a trip with friends. They go to this rendezvous house near where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned, and things get seriously creepy.
Ah, the rendezvous house. Yeah, that's where the story takes a whole new turn. Makes you think about how powerful suggestion can be, the influence of a place, maybe even something beyond what science can explain right now.
Okay, picture this. He's in bed in this rendezvous. Suddenly, he feels someone sit down on the bed, a hand on his shoulder. Tries to call out to his friend, but he can't speak. Then, this figure starts shaking him, whispering, "No, it's someone else." Like it wants him to guess who it is.
A whispering voice trying to play a guessing game. That's not your typical sleep paralysis. There's an intention there, like a consciousness interacting with him directly.
It's like this thing is playing with him, and here's the scary part. Every wrong guess, the grip gets tighter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's classic. You see that in lots of paranormal stories. Like fear itself makes it stronger, more real.
Exactly. Like fear is a way for it to become more powerful.
Yeah.
So he finally breaks free of the paralysis. He's obviously shaken, right? Wakes up his friend, makes up some excuse about needing a lighter. And as they're walking around, he tells his friend about what happened.
And how does he deal with it?
Well, he uses humor. Like he even tries to scare his friend a little, jokingly. And the fear turns into laughter.
That's interesting. Sharing it, even if it's lighthearted, it kind of takes away its power. Like acknowledging it out loud, making it real for both of them helps break its hold on him.
Exactly. He even said his friend ended up being more scared than him. So they find a lighter, share a cigarette, and eventually go back to sleep. But here's the thing. It's their last day at the rendezvous, and they're packing up, ready to leave. The whole thing is, kind of out of their minds. But then they're signing the visitor's logbook, and he starts flipping through it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And that's when that place, that collective experience, it all comes into play. You've got this rendezvous house, right? So close to a place steeped in history. You could say it's a prime spot for, I don't know, residual energy, to hang around.
It's like the walls are holding on to those old memories, and somehow they're seeping into the present.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like some theories say strong emotions can leave an imprint on a place, like an echo, but made of energy. Others say
Yeah.
certain places have weird electromagnetic stuff going on.
Mm.
It messes with our brains, makes us more open to these unusual experiences. So he's looking through this logbook, and guess what? He finds all these entries from other visitors, and they're describing almost the exact same thing, ghostly encounters. It's like suddenly he's got proof he wasn't just imagining things.
Right. Adds a whole other layer to it. Makes you wonder, is there something about these places like they're just built for these kinds of experiences? Maybe it's a bunch of things together, the history, the energy of everyone who's been there, maybe even some stuff we just don't understand yet scientifically.
It's freaky, but so fascinating at the same time. But it brings us back to that big question, right? Is it just sleep paralysis, all in his head? Or is there something more going on? I mean, he's wrestling with that. And honestly, after hearing this, I'm not so sure myself. What do you think?
It's the question, right? It's been haunting us forever. Science can explain how sleep paralysis works, the mechanics. But what about how it feels? The emotions, that feeling of something else being there. Science doesn't really have an answer for that.
It's the intention, right?
Mm.
Like that figure on the bed. It felt like it was playing a game with him. So deliberate, so aware. And then finding those other stories in the logbook just adds to the mystery.
The mind is a powerful thing, what we call reality. It's all filtered through our senses, what we believe, our past experiences. It's possible these encounters are coming from inside us, our subconscious trying to talk to us in a way we don't get.
So like our minds are creating these things to teach us something, to make us question everything.
Exactly. And maybe the point isn't to prove or disprove ghosts and stuff. Maybe it's about exploring those edges of consciousness
Yeah.
where what we know bumps up against the unknown.
This whole deep dive, it's given me more questions than answers,
Yeah.
but in a good way. Makes
Cool.
you wonder, you know? Makes you want to learn more about the mind, about the universe, all the mysteries.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? That open space. Accepting that there's always more out there, stuff we don't get yet.
I know I'll never think about sleep paralysis the same way again. This has really stuck with me.
I think that's a great thing to take away from this. Sometimes the best lessons come from shaking things up, embracing the mysteries.
Totally. So, to everyone listening, keep your minds open. Pay attention to those moments that make you question things. You never know what you might discover.
And remember, the universe is full of surprises. There's always more to learn, more to experience, more out there waiting to be found.
It's like we got this peek behind the curtain, this glimpse of something huge, mysterious.
Yeah, I like that. And it reminds us our understanding of everything, the universe, ourselves, it's always changing. What we call paranormal now, maybe tomorrow it's totally normal, as we learn more.
True. Makes you think, what are we missing? What's out there that we just can't see yet?
Imagine it, all these discoveries waiting to happen, these whole new realities.
It's exciting and kind of speary too, right? To think there could be all this stuff going on that we're clueless about.
Exactly. That's what makes the unknown so fascinating. It makes us explore, question everything, push those boundaries of what we think we know.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll never look at sleep paralysis the same way again. This deep dive, it's really changed things for me.
That's a good thing, I think. Sometimes the best way to learn is to shake things up, embrace the mystery.
Absolutely. So, to everyone listening, keep those minds open. Pay attention to those moments that make you question everything. You never know what you might find.
And remember, the universe is full of wonder. Always more to learn, more to experience, more to discover.